Today's video, I want to show you a transformation of a yard, and not maybe the similar way that I've done in some other videos, but this is a little different. I want to show you the power of the fertilizer and the weed control on a yard that hadn't been totally neglected. But let me just show it to you and explain the situation and show you the results when we get done. Today's video is sponsored by Yardbook. If you need a software for your lawn care business, go to yardbook.com. I've been using Yardbook to run my lawn care business since 2015. All right, so here's the situation. This property has not been totally neglected, but at the same time, it's not reaching its full potential. You got some weeds growing up here where it's been essentially a poor mowing job. You got broadleaf weeds. You got some Poa annua, looks like dying out, maybe some American burnweed, and I'm filming this in early May. And so we're at a time where the weather's getting hot and it's time for this Bermuda grass to take off. But look what you see here. I'm out here in the morning so you can see my foot tracks in the dew. But what I see is Bermuda grass that has little to no color to it. You know, and it's not because we're into May now. The weather's up in the 80s. It's time for this Bermuda to take off. And so what I wanted to do today is to show you what we can do with the fertilizer and the difference in the color. And I'm also going to spray for weeds and see if I can't knock out these weeds, which should be the easy part. Fortunately, some of these tall grassy weeds, they'll be dying out soon from the heat. Once they're mowed, a lot of them won't come back. Same with the Poa. You can see the Poa, not from a herbicide, but from just the heat, it's already turning colors here. It should be gone in a week or two where it's not nearly as noticeable. Broadleaf weeds are going to be easy to knock out. So let me show you what I'm going to spray on the yard. I'm going to show you the fertilizer we're going to use, and I want to just come back. It may take, you know, a month or so when we come back and look at it before this grass is really kicked in. But I think by the time of this, the warm weather, the rain, it's time for this Bermuda to really take off, and I want to show it to you on video, so stay tuned to the end where you can see the results. I see a lot of discussions about what's the right type of spreader sprayer to use, and I've got a Z spray and I love that, but I also just picked up this back slope, and I've used the old Ground Logic machine for a long time, and one of the things I liked about it is it was performed well on hills, and I deal with some hilly areas. And when people talk about the right machine, to me it's all about what kind of turf you're using. On certain properties, the Z spray makes a lot of sense. On other properties, I need something more designed for hills, and this back slope is great for small properties and also for hilly properties. And what I love about it, I love the spiker style hopper that's on it. I also love some of the improvements over the Ground Logic. The old Ground Logic machine is now the spray tanks are on the side. It gives you a lower center of gravity. You got a more open design, easier access to get to the engine. And it's also one of the big things I've noticed, it's just faster. Okay, I am not flying, I'm not saying I'm flying, but an extra mile per hour or whatever it is, it makes a big difference on the way that I'm able to cover the yards and the amount of production I'm able to get in a day. I've got about 12 hours on this. I've just put it in production about 2 weeks ago, but so far really impressed with the machine, and that's what I'm gonna be using today to spray the weeds and also to fertilize the lawn. All right, so what do I got mixed up in the tank here today is I've got 3 products, and I'm gonna show them to you. All right, so here's what I'm using. On the left, over here, that's my left, I went to the right. I've got Manor, and this is a very cheap post-emergent herbicide. This one, I'm only using 1/4 of an ounce per acre, so that's very hard to mix up. Little 2-gallon sprayers. People say, how do I mix that up? It's very, very difficult, but by acre, you can do it. So 1/4 an ounce covers 1 acre. It's just dirt cheap when you use it at that rate. Spectacle Flow, a pre-emergent that I'm putting down to help me get ahead of some of these summer weeds, and then Change Up. So a lot of times we'll mix Change Up. I'll put 16 ounces per acre in there and 1/4 ounce of metsulfuron. Sometimes people use 1/3 of an ounce. That combination will knock out most of the broadleaf weeds in a lawn, and then the Spectacle Flow, hopefully, to get ahead of some of the summer weeds that haven't germinated yet. So including Kalinga, chamber bitter, spurge, things like that. So this is the combination I'm out here spraying today. This is what I've been spraying on a lot of my yards, and I've already got that mixed up in here, and I can put the fertilizer in here, and I've got 2 different blends of fertilizer here. I've got an 1819 blend. Let's see what this is. Oh, that's 3806. This is what I'm going to be using here. 3806, 36 38% nitrogen. That means there's 19 pounds of nitrogen in this bag. Gonna go for about 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. And I've got it already set up for that. I've got an 18-19 blend I'm using on my centipede and St. Augustine lawns, which is what I'm gonna be taking care of today out in my business. Let's load it up, spray it, and get to work. I don't know if it shows on the video, you know, comparison to other machines, but this thing's got a little bit more get up and go than the Ground Logic that I was used to in the past. And I love that machine too, but I like some of the improvements on this one. Got it fertilized, got it sprayed. I think these weeds are gonna die very, very soon because of the warmer weather. I think we're also, with some rain and the warm weather again, we should get some pretty good color in this lawn, noticeably different within a few weeks. So we're gonna check back on it and just show you the transformation. Now this would have been different if it had been January, everything would have been slower. But this is a slow release fertilizer that actually should carry us through basically most of the growing season at the rate that I put it out. So we'll check back and show you the results. We sprayed the grass 2 days ago and fertilized. Fertilizer's obviously not done a lot in 2 days, but I do want to just give you a quick update on the weeds. When it gets springtime, you can get these kind of results, like super fast, 2 days later, wilting over. And when the grass gets cut, I mean, it's gonna, a lot of them won't come back. Clover's starting to discolor. Look at this. This is a good example of what we're seeing. So just need the line guys to show up, and that they don't always do that, so that's a problem. But you can see what's looking like so far after 2 days. We've got the hot weather, need a little bit of rain, get this fertilizer to kick in, and I think this place is going to look a lot better, so we'll check back soon. Well, I want to give the final update on this yard and want to talk to you about kind of what I learned from this experience. Maybe can help you, but let's check on it. It's been, I'm going to say, a month since I sprayed and put out the fertilizer. We're in late May now, temperatures up in the 80s consistently, and that makes a huge difference, especially when dealing with Bermuda grass. So let's see what we got. All right, so what you'll notice is, hopefully you can notice, and I know it was morning one time when I sprayed, but you can see the color is improved. You can see maybe not mowing the grass is off. This is, let me stick my boot in here. I mean, this is, I don't know, that's probably a foot tall almost. So definitely needs the grass cut. Hopefully that'll happen soon. But its colors improved. Weeds are basically gone essentially. Here's one weed, survived somehow, but almost all the weeds are gone. Now what you also notice, if you look at this, you got Bermuda grass here. Color is definitely improved. I wouldn't say it's perfect. Over here, the Bermuda is creeping over here, but there's also some Bahia grass, actually a lot of Bahia grass. So I sprayed that metsulfuron, which is hopefully suppressing the Bahia grass from putting up the big nasty seed head, and hopefully suppressing enough where you can see, you know, this was sodded with Bermuda grass, but Bermuda grass is filling in here. So I'm thinking over time you keep suppressing the Bahia, then the Bermuda creeps in here, and you know, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but and it's not great. Got a little erosion issues there, but you can see where there is Bermuda in the area and it's filling in. So let's talk about the results here and what can we learn. I think the one thing that I've noticed about this is we sort of got away with just spraying that I don't remember what I sprayed, change up metsulfuron I believe on here, and just to knock out the weeds in this situation. But one reason I was able to get away with that, and now it looks great, that doesn't mean it's gonna work that way every time. It was the weeds that were here. It was also the fact that this yard had virtually no weeds, no crabgrass last year. And so even though there was a lot of weeds popping up, there was not even though we were late on the pre-emergent, or I don't even remember if I put a pre-emergent here, but the whole idea is that I don't think we have a crabgrass issue because there wasn't crabgrass last year. Now, if I took over this yard and it was just had crabgrass all in it last year, and then you don't spray it until April, well, you're gonna be loaded with crabgrass this year, okay? But I think it looks so good because it honestly wasn't that bad a shape last year, and you just had all these big broadleaf annual weeds popping up. So the point of that is, don't try that at home. Get your pre-emergent out when you should before the crabgrass germinates, and you'll be better off, particularly, you know, even on this yard. I'm not saying there will be no crabgrass. It wouldn't shock me if there's a few clumps pop up in the summer that may be real small right now, but as the weather warms, will continue to grow. Maybe not, but we'll see. I think the other thing you notice, and I've had, I don't know how many customers tell me I've got weeds all in my yard, and what they mean is they're actually talking about the seed head of the Bermuda grass. You know, so I said, hey, that's actually your grass. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do. And so a couple things on that. You can do, you can mow it more often, which would be great. This doesn't look like it's been mowed in who knows, I don't know how long, but doesn't look like it's been mowed frequently enough. Sometimes when it doesn't have enough nitrogen in it, it can put up a seed head. Sometimes when it's thirsty, you know, it's that little bit of a drought stress, it may go to seed head quicker. In this situation, I would say it's mostly due to the lack of mowing. Other thing you can do in that situation is you can use a growth regulator. Growth regulator also helps on the Bahia grass to help keep from putting the seed head up, but I use one called Podium. There's another one called T-Nex. You can put that on there. It's the same active ingredient, both those, by the way. But you put that on there and it will suppress the vertical growth of the grass and also suppress the seed head from coming up nearly as fast. Last thing I want to mention about this yard, and this is a positive thing, but there is virtually no nut sage in this yard, and that is unusual. I don't understand exactly why. Nut sage shows up sometimes, doesn't show up other times. Usually a lot of water is a problem with nut sage. It likes wet areas, but I don't know if I see any nut sage in this yard, so that's a good thing. It wasn't a perfect yard, but doing great on nut sage, and that's not because anything was sprayed. It just doesn't have nut sage in it at this time. All right, it's not a perfect yard, but hopefully it looks a lot better than it did at the beginning of the video. Thanks for watching. If you hadn't done so, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get in weed controlled fertilization like me, or you want information about the Lawn Care Life Conference, go to lawncarelife.com. Or you can just hang out here, click on my channel name, and watch more videos. I've got over 1,000 videos on the channel. Been doing this for a long time, and we'll see you guys in the next one.